And now, live at the Good Beans Cafe in Flint, Michigan, it's the Creative Alliance's Collab Nite open mic with our host, Mark Funnyman Taylor. Yeah! Right up there. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I am your funny man, Mark Taylor, and welcome to another installment of this collaboration night. I am your host, the funny man, Mark Taylor, here in the flesh. And before we get started, I have a few jokes for you. So, I went to a bank, and I was kind of worried about my my account. So I went up to the bank teller and asked for my balance. He walked by and pushed me over.
Wow.
His balance wasn't good.
Yeah. So, anyway, a worm swallowed 5 dimes and he said, "Have I changed?"
Oh my.
So, there's a guy that goes to a lumber yard, and he walks up to an employee and says, "Can I help you?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm looking for a 2x4. And he says, "How long do you want it?" He says, "For a very long time, because I'm working on a house." So, anyway, I wanted to get those out of the way so I can do my host duties, and to say that Collaboration Night is a creative event every third Wednesday from 7 to 10, open canvas, which is right over there, where you can paint whatever that you want to paint on there, and on Flint Underground on YouTube, and on every Monday at 6 p.m. on Comcast on Channel 17, which I watch constantly. Tell me to turn the camera off if you don't want to have your picture video played while Miss Jennie is over there recording. So we're gonna get things started here. So our first guest of our collaboration night, would you please welcome our very own Flint historian, Mr. Gary Flinn.
Yay, Gary!
You can pass this around.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, have a lot to say before and after this month's presentation. If I seem a bit disheveled, explanation. Of course, now that it's fall and the temperature's dropping, I'm back to wearing the capotes out of the closet.
Yeah.
But explanation first. I'm maybe a little off because, well, Monday they found a kidney stone.
Oh no.
Anyway, I seem to be getting okay now, so I'm able to read my presentation tonight. So I went to my usual doctor, which is McMillan Internal Medicine office, and they sent me to the McMillan ER, and that's where they gave me the thorough testing, and that's when they said I had a kidney stone.
Huh.
So they prescribed me some meds, which I'm still taking, and my appetite's back, and this inspired me to do this month's presentation about a Flint businessman whose will bequeathed the founding of Flint's very first hospital, which is now called Hurley Medical Center. It's from my Hidden History of Flint book, which is available at bookstores and online, with the cover price of $21.99.
Only $21.99.
Yes, and the bookstores should also have my first book, Remembering Flint, Michigan, which still has a cover price of $19.99.
Only $19.99.
Yes, and now with the chapter called James Hurley, Businessman and Humanitarian. The more than century-old Hurley Medical Center is a major hospital centrally located in Flint. The man behind the name was an English immigrant who settled in Flint and became a successful businessman. James J. Hurley was born in London, England on August 31st, 1849. He began earning money for himself at age 6 by returning fruit baskets to dealers, for which he received a penny apiece. By age 13, he accumulated $400, which he used to start his own business selling fruit and merchandise. But at age 20, business setbacks made him broke. So in 1871, he decided to immigrate to the United States and arrived in New York. He went straight to Michigan, arriving in Grand Blanc. He traveled to Flint by foot. By that winter, he had found work at a livery, earning $10 per month. In 1872, he partnered with William H. Fay to operate the Sherman House Hotel on West Kearsley Street. Hurley met dining room girl Mary Flinn there, no relation, whom he married. Sherman House was destroyed by fire in 1879. Hurley then purchased the Flint Soap Works, which was located on what is now Grand Traverse near the Flint River. In 1885, Hurley opened a wood and coal yard. The People's Electric Light and Power Company was also founded that year, with Hurley as president. That company was later reorganized into the Flint Light and Power Company, with Hurley serving as vice president. Hurley was also director at Union Savings Bank. On January 12, 1900, Mary died at her home after an unspecified acute illness that began when she complained about a headache and lasted 10 days. She was just 43. The Wolverine Citizen reported her death in the following day's issue. In the fall of 1904, Hurley became ill with Bright's disease, a kidney disease known as nephritis today. He was initially determined to continue his work, but he required continual care from 2 nurses that December. Hurley died at 5:15 a.m. on April 4, 1905, of heart failure at age 55. The April fourth issue of the Flint Daily Journal reported Hurley's death on the front page and mentioned that even though Hurley's will was not yet filed for probate, his will bequeathed $500 to every church in the city, regardless of faith, and 10 to 12 acres of land on a high elevation west of downtown, and $25,000 for the construction of a general hospital in the city. At this point in the video, a portrait of James Hurley can be seen. 2 days later, Hurley's funeral was held at St. Michael's Catholic Church. Officiated by the Reverend Timothy J. Murphy, the ceremony was heavily attended, and there were many floral tributes. Quoting the Flint Daily Journal's article about the funeral, Father Murphy preached a fine discourse in which he paid high tribute to generosity and other elements that were conspicuous in the sturdy character of the deceased. Hurley was buried at what is now Old Calvary Cemetery on Ballinger Highway, at the edge of a ravine next to his wife. The Hurleys had no children. Besides the Flynn in-laws, the only blood relative surviving James Hurley was a niece in London, England. Besides bequests to family members, associates, and employees, Hurley also gave $500 towards the construction of a new Elks Lodge and donated his home at the end of Stockton Street, north of West 3rd Street, which he dubbed Mary's House, to the Little Sisters of the Poor of Detroit. That organization was unable to utilize the house, so it was sold to Edward D. Black and continued to serve as a private residence for several decades, until it was converted into a 3-unit apartment in the 1950s and later torn down. Hurley's legacy with its generous bequests benefiting the city was unusual in 1905, when most people had more provincial thoughts and did not have the foresight to help and benefit future generations, which Hurley clearly had. He had genuine compassion for the people that he displayed in his giving. He wanted to give something to the city that would benefit all people. This was a gift of gratitude to the city and the people of the area who had dealt with him so generously. Hurley Hospital officially opened on December 18, 1908, as the first modern hospital in the city with 40 beds, 6 bassinets, and a staff of 8 nurses. The hospital grew with the city to become what is now Hurley Medical Center, which still follows James Hurley's original vision to provide care to all citizens regardless of ability to pay. In fiscal year 2014, Hurley provided $8 million in uncompensated and charity care. At this point in the video, you would see a photo of how Hurley Hospital originally looked. After more than 100 years, the final resting place of Mary and James Hurley at Old Calvary Cemetery, the oldest surviving cemetery in the immediate Flint area, showed obvious signs of erosion over the decades. Mary's grave lost more soil to the adjacent ravine, and both individual markers had shifted due to the eroding soil. The large stone bearing J.J. Hurley's name had small broken stones used as shims below its base. The Hurley grave sloped downward to such a degree that visitors needed to be careful, despite a chain link fence at the edge of the ravine. The management of New-Old Calvary Cemetery and the Roman Catholic Diocese of Lansing's Office of Cemeteries have been aware of the sinking of the Hurley graves for more than a decade back in 2008. After 4 additional years of planning, a retaining wall was built along the ravine in 2012. The Hurley plots were leveled and re-landscaped, and new concrete paths were poured for the Hurley markers. The restoration of the Hurley graves was a complicated process that required getting materials and heavy equipment into the ravine while being respectful of the deceased. The only easy access is at the end of Nolan Drive at the Mount Park Golf Course. The retaining wall was built using precast concrete sections. The end result was a beautiful restoration of the plots of James and Mary Hurley at Old Calvary Cemetery. So that's my piece for this month. And before I go, I'll be taking part in the Flint Literary Festival at the Flint Public Library this month on the last Saturday in October, along with other local Flint authors. I'll be offering both my books at the Flint Public Library. I hope to see you all there. And thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give it up for Mr. Gary Flynn.
Yay, Gary!
Oh, I forgot to I forgot a thing.
Oh yeah.
We are doing a GoFundMe Creative Alliance thing for GoFundMe here, and you can put as how much you want to put in there. I put $10 in there already, so so if anybody wants to come up and put their donation in, that's fine too. And this will go for a while. Anyway.
But there's a GoFundMe campaign. It's on that little tub. If you look, you have to look close though, maybe, and you can find the address if you want to go to it.
All right, so anyway, I'm gonna go find me somewhere else. I'm kidding. Anyway, we're gonna go to our next guest. Would you please welcome the lady behind the camera, Miss Jennie Moench.
Yay, Jennie! Move my chair up there. And hopefully I'm somewhere in the, I think I'm in the camera. Can you hear me when I'm under it like this? You can hear me anyway,
I
can't
can
you?
hear you. I don't.
Yeah, you guys can hear me. Is that change it? Oh, never mind. I got it figured out. Okay. So anyway, I'm writing, this thing's gonna hit me in the head, I know it. I'm writing a book of short sci-fi. Oh, I see, I shouldn't do that. I'm writing a book of short sci-fi stories called Near Future, and they happen in the near future. And so right now I've got 4 of the stories finished, and I'm working on a 5th one. And the 5th one's called AI, and you really kind of need to read the stories from the beginning to know about everything I'm talking about, but I'm just going to read a little bit of this one. I've been reading the same story, and it's about Liam and Arthur, and Arthur's a robot, but Liam was raised by Arthur pretty much. Anyway, and at the very beginning of the story, Liam had seen a man dancing in a musical suit, and Liam said that he wanted one of those suits. So he had Arthur order it for him. So this is what happened when he got the suit. Okay. At dusk, they found themselves walking down a city sidewalk. Liam was wearing the suit with a blue top hat. He felt awkward in his noisy new outfit, and they were getting attention. This was something Liam usually avoided. But since the attention was laughter and interest in the functions of the suit, it was different, fun. Most of the admirers were the young adults, some were girls. and he liked it. It was like he was in on the joke. Finally, he was one of them. When he and Arthur came to an area where they had encountered the street performer on their last visit, they decided to try out Liam's new dance. First, he made a big gesture of setting his hat on the pavement in front of himself, and then he did a kind of high-pitched pirouette. The crowd quickly gathered around him to watch. Liam noticed a cute, dark, curly-haired girl with another young woman that were paying especially close attention to the performance. Arthur noticed them too, but he was paying attention to the girl's companion and began sending her messages. As the performance unfolded, it was clear that Liam was more adept at the dancing part than the musical part. But his physique and the athletic prowess overshadowed his lack of musical talent. The girl continued to watch with interest while Liam was watching the little dark-haired girl. Then Arthur noticed her nudge her companion and whisper something in her ear. After that, the taller, light-skinned companion stepped forward and dropped a bill into Liam's hat. This made him smile and dance with more vigor. The dance ended with him jumping into the air and doing a backflip. The small crowd cheered. He took a bow, making eye contact with a pretty little girl who had been clapping with enthusiasm. For an awkward moment, the two just stood and stared at one another. Arthur broke the spell by stepping forward and picking up the top hat. Sadly, it only contained the one bill. "I'm afraid you only have one fan," he announced. But Liam was too preoccupied with the one fan to be disappointed. He plucked the bill out of his hat and stepped forward and handed it back to the girl. "Could you sign this for me?" he asked shyly. "I want to add it to my collection since you are my first fan." The young girl giggled as he bowed again in a chivalrous way. Arthur noted how the suit seemed to give him confidence. The young girl meekly reached out and grasped the bill as Liam noticed her delicate fingers. There was a brief moment of awkwardness as the girl didn't know where and with what to sign her name. Then Liam's face lit up with a glorious idea. "How about if we visit my favorite coffee shop and I buy you the best chocolate cream croissant on the planet?" The girl giggled, looked at her companion, then at Liam, and nodded in the affirmative. "It's just a few doors down." He made an exaggerated motion in the direction of the coffee shop. She smiled and accepted the elbow that he had extended towards her. Her companion and Arthur followed in a few steps behind. In front of the coffee shop, they took one of Liam's favorite tables next to a big glass window. The two sat across from one another on the inside seats. Their eyes rarely strayed from one another as their two companions stood next to the table, waiting for instructions. "So do you know what you want, or would you like me to order for you?" Liam asked, leaning in towards her. I've never been here before. I'd like a coffee and one of those chocolate cream croissants." Liam gave Arthur their order, and the girl motioned for her friend to sit in the chair beside her. Then she took a pen from her and began writing a name on the bill that she still held in her hand. She gave the pen back to her friend and handed Liam the bill. He studied it for a moment, noting her fluffy, curly writing. "Laura," he said aloud. She hunched up her shoulders a bit with embarrassment. "So what's your name?" "Liam," he said in a dream. "And what is this collection you were referring to?" "Oh, nothing really. I just have a collection of money that people have given me over the years, mostly birthdays and stuff. Most of it's from my dad's friends or his employees. I'm not sure how it started, but your bill will now be my favorite." Before long, Arthur was back with a tray containing 2 drinks and 2 croissants. Liam looked over at Laura's companion, noticing her lack of refreshments, then up at Arthur. But Laura interceded. "Oh, she doesn't eat." Before this, Liam hadn't given much attention to the other girl, and now he suspected that she was a robot. Arthur took a seat next to Liam. "She's one of ours," he explained. "Arthur 54862. Liam nodded. "An early download," he noted. "Oh, do you work for the robotics company?" Laura asked. Liam nodded. He wasn't interested in muddying up the waters by explaining that he was the company. that type of honest candor had put him in unpleasant spots before. Either the person didn't believe him, or they became too friendly. So he simply replied, "Yes." "What do you do?" "I'm an engineer. I'm on my 3rd year of computer science at the university." This made Liam brighten. "Great, coding is one of my favorites. But how did you come by your robot?" "My parents bought her from an estate sale when I was 12. Her name is Pamela. Now they won't let me leave the house without her." She leaned in towards Liam as she pulled the pastry apart in her hand. "She's proficient in martial arts," Laura confided. The two young people began discussing music and videos until their pastries were gone and their cups were empty. Then Pamela interrupted their intimate conversation with a message from Laura's mother that she needed to be home. Liam and Arthur walked the two to the curb where their transporter was waiting. Both humans vowed to meet up again soon as the transport doors slid shut. Liam was all smiles. The day had been a total success for him. On the way home, they discussed Pamela. Arthur's special status gave him an unlimited access to the programming of all Arthur robots. He explained to Liam that he had found a disturbing hack in her program. Starting with Arthur, all downloads of the program included a bit of historical data. One of those bits was to establish that Ian Moore was the creator. This fact was hard-coded and wasn't to be altered, but it was. In Pamela's historical data, her creator was John Davidson. "I know about this John Davidson," Arthur began. "He was a former employee who offered unlawful alterations to our programs. I corrected hers and explained the corrections to her, and that Ian Moore was her creator, and that John Davidson was an imposter. Now she knows that I am Ian Moore's first creation, and that she is number 54862. Liam listened quietly, marveling at the righteous indignation that Arthur seemed to exude while explaining the hack, and to think that all this happened silently as Laura and he were drinking coffee. In a world of no humans, these robotic beings would be telepathic.
Woo!
So if anybody wants a PDF of the whole book of what I have so far, then just let me know and I can send it to you.
Give it up for Jennie one more time, please.
Thank you.
Okay, before I get to my next guest on the show here, I, on November 12th, am going to be in Detroit at Cobo Hall for the America's Got Talent tryouts.
Wow, yeah. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got somebody videotaping, following you around with a video camera when you're going to be there?
Well, for the act, they're not allowed to have cameras there. Well, because then you get disqualified.
Okay. Well,
it's a rule of regulations. But yeah. So it's going to be an adventure to go to Detroit on November 12th, and also coming up soon in December, I'm going to be at the Genesee Library to do a comedy show up there.
Okay, cool.
I haven't set the date up yet. But very shortly, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, who is it going to be a show with a few people in it, or are you just?
I don't know yet. I've got to work on to see what the date is and everything, and then I'll figure that out.
Okay, cool.
So anyway, let's get to our next guest. Our next guest is Deonta, right? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Deonta.
Yeah. Hello. I'm just I'm doing the cover of Last Kiss by Pearl Jam, so So I swear to the right and never forget the sound at night. Streaming glass and busting ties, a lane for scream that I heard last. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. When I woke up, the rain was pouring down, and there were people standing all around. Something warm goes through my eyes, but somehow I found my baby that night. I entered her close, she looked at me and said, hold me, darling, just a little while. I held her close to kiss her last kiss. I found a love that I knew I'd missed. But now she's gone, even though I held her tight. I lost my love, my life that night. Oh, where can my baby be? Love took her away from me. She's got to heaven, so I got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. I'm working on a little EP or so. So this is one of the songs on there. This moment with another girl. Now let's hold hands and pretend the world is ours. Can you show me love? Can you show me love? Can you show me love? Can you show me love tonight? Can you show me love? Please show me love tonight. Please show me love tonight. Please show me how to love. That's it.
Give it up for Deonta one more time, please. Good stuff, my man. Good stuff. I was just told to go to Facebook and go to the Creative Alliance page, and it'll tell you more about the Go Find Me page and everything else about the Creative Alliance.
It's the exact wording is the Greater Flint Creative Alliance. That's the Facebook page name.
Yep, the Greater Flint Creative Alliance.
Yeah, we couldn't think of any other words to put in there, so that's all we have.
So, yep, it's a good Facebook page and everything, and it'll tell you more, and it'll show you a lot of videos and stuff there.
This video will be on there.
Yes, and this video will be on there also. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest to come up to the stage right here, right now, is one of my good friends, very cool musician friend of mine. Would you please welcome Mr. Brian Pobocik?
Yay, Brian!
I didn't expect. Well, if we.
Oh yeah, the golden leaf.
We've already had someone step up for telling. God, that wasn't good. We've already had someone step up to tell jokes, so.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty much set with what I came with. This doesn't fit that well. Test. Oh, that's all right. Coming through all right? Right, Ken?
No, you're not. I think you need to plug in.
Oh, well, okay. I'm sorry. Let me get this straight. Test. Bring this down just a touch. You guys have been fiddling around with those other tests. Okay. That's good. I'm going to probably work from a stand tonight. So, I always come up here and I tell you how unprepared I am. And in the back of my mind, I'm a little, it concerns me, it may not concern anyone else, but that I'm kind of repeating a lot of the same songs over and over and over. And the fact is I've written quite a few songs, and I've cataloged what has made it onto the Flint Underground video station, video podcast.
YouTube
channel. And I count 72 original songs.
Wow.
And so I figured I'd try and grab a bunch of original stuff that and these are not the most prepared songs, but songs that I've either never performed out or are not on that channel, that podcast channel. First one is kind of is Halloween themed, okay? See how well I can do with this. This is one I don't do very often. I wrote this in '87. It's called I'm Haunted. Creaking stairs, rattling chains, I'm battling hounds in the howling rain. And ooh, baby, I'm haunted. haunted. You're the only woman I ever dare wanted. You got me scared to death, I believe I'm haunted by you. Chase me down to my hide-and-seek soul. I'm all out of breath and it's taking its toll. And ooh, baby, I'm haunted. Yes, I am haunted. You're the only woman I ever dare wanted. You got me scared to death, I believe I'm haunted by you. Trick or treat, who's that hiding underneath the sheets? And ooh, baby, I'm haunted. Yes, I am haunted. You're the only woman I ever dare wanted. You got me scared to death, I believe I'm haunted by you. Trick or treat, who's that hiding underneath the sheet? And ooh, baby, I'm haunted. Yes, I am haunted. You're the only woman I ever dare wanted. Got me scared to death, I believe I'm haunted by you. Some distance from coast to coast, but every night I wake up to the same old ghost. And ooh, baby, I'm haunted. Yes, I am haunted. You're the only woman I ever dare wanted. Got me scared to death, I believe I'm haunted by you.
Yeah. Yay!
I think I might have repeated a verse in there. Hopefully you're okay with that.
Perfect.
So, uh-oh. But not far. Okay, this is a song I wrote around 83, 84 as a poem, and I adapted it in 2005 as a song. And it harkens back to, I spent all but 2.5 years of my life here in Genesee County, but the last 2.5 years of high school, I attended school in Standish. That's where I graduated high school, is in Standish. So it harkens back to some of my more rural America experiences, because I've really never, otherwise I've lived in the suburbs all my life. Not so much the inner city, but also not so much small town, except for those 2 years. It's called, I wanted to write a protest song, and this is how it came about, with using nature imagery. This is a song called I Am of the Twisted Brook. Through this northern wood of maple, ash, and oak, All kings stand and heed the flood, for spring is not yet broke. My trail a mound of snowy ground, which tempts my ventured wrath. I am of the twisted brook, I flow no other path. The sun makes love to virgin earth each and every spring. Growth of green beyond the birth, balanced as the wing of eagle's regal flight, unfolding in midair, sighting paths of twisted brooks, the flow of none so fair. Shared this world with simple men, I've shared this world with bees. Selflessly I'd share again till all have shared this peace. So read not within printed book, nor follow rule of math. Only know of twisted brooks and flow no other path. The twisted brook, I flow no other path. This one I wrote in '86, and it says 86, 88, but there's a reason behind it. I wrote it in '86. Inspired by a girl named Dawn, and I'm not going to go into the story, but I changed one or two words in '88, not many, in the second verse, and that girl's name was Jill. So that's the explanation there. Okay, it's called The Legend. It's kind of a.
You gave away her song.
I'm not in touch with either. I think, you know what? I looked up both women on Facebook, and one is living in Tennessee, and the other one, I think, is living in Kentucky. They don't live in this area anymore.
You can see the video, and then they'd be jealous.
Yeah, none of them are named in the song, so.
Okay.
It's a sad song, sorry. Yes, I do believe it's time for me to go. I found you entertaining. I really liked your show. But before the curtain closes, and before you take your bow, there's been something left unsaid, and I'll say anyhow. You gave one hell of a performance, the way you spoke, the way you walked, but I never had need for an actress. I only wanted someone who could talk, and all the responses were varied, and everyone offered me advice. It didn't matter that you were married, it only mattered that you were so nice. And I give and give for the legend when I have so little to spend. And when nothing before me turned out to be real, I'd have settled for a friend. So exciting when a new show opens, so sad to see it all end. But you're still the actress spitting out lines, and I'm sorting the real from pretend. And yes, I do believe it's time for me to go. All right.
Yeah.
Since I know our turnout isn't all that good, could I go one more song?
Hey,
Or?
go right ahead.
Wow, this is going to expand my catalog, if you will. Okay, this is more a recent song, and there's actually a funny story behind it, though it's not really a funny story. I conceived it as a blues song, but it came from an incident that happened late in high school, and probably 11th or 12th grade. As I said, I go to school in Standish. Now, Standish is a rural community. It's an ag community, meaning it's a farm community. And basically, unless you lived in the town, you rode a school bus, and these bus trips were very long and brutal, you know. And I was one of the last persons to get off at the bus. So one day I get off at the bus, and I'm the only one in my family riding the bus that day because they're all gone. They're all visiting elsewhere. They're truant. Nobody gives a crap, you know, whatever. But I do know that my stepfather's home. So I go in the house and I go, you know, casually. My routine is go straight up to my room, you know, and either study or just stay the hell away from the rest of the family is basically what my routine was. But in order to get to my room, I got to go through my parents' room, my mother and stepfather. And so as I approach that room, I can hear the sound, the whir sound, W-H-I-R, sound of a small appliance. So I could take a step or two closer. It's coming from the bedroom. So I walk into the bedroom and I see something, and I take 2 or 3 steps out. I start wandering the neighborhood. We have no neighbors, probably 1.5 miles from us. So I'm just walking around the street, whatever. But what I come upon is my stepfather is attached to a vacuum cleaner. He's fully dressed, except the running vacuum cleaner is attached to his fly. Okay, so I'm walking up and down the street, just wondering, well, what is my next move? What am I going to do? What if this idiot has killed himself? How am I going to word this when I call 911 and explain to the operator, well, I don't know how to explain this, but anyway. So I'm outside for about 1.5 hours. I figure, well, it's time to go back in. So I go back in, and he's busy watching news. I'm not that curious about what was going on. It's none of my business. He doesn't offer anything, and I don't really care. But that was my incident. And a few years later, 93, so that's 11 years after this incident, I decided to write a song about it from kind of more or less his perspective. Are you guys lost?
No,
Okay.
we just
It's called Vacuum Cleaner Blues.
bewildered.
Explain to him to me.
Yeah.
So you left me for your mother's home. Now I'm here, so all alone, up late with this fate I did not choose. Here in this empty room, nothing but the vacuum cleaner blues. Upon a scrap of paper, somewhere some vowel reads that a man has certain needs. This underlies indeed every headline in the news. But this house is like a tomb, nothing but the vacuum cleaner blues. So I'm not man enough to say to you I quit. Everything love stood for has taken a direct hit. I'm left in this room full of dust and debris. I got the vacuum cleaner blues. Nothing else can cure me. Well, how about one real quick one and we'll call it good?
Okay.
Okay. This is one I wrote in '84. There's no real story to it. Except I should give you some perspective. When I say '84, I'm maybe 20, maybe 19.
I was not born yet.
Most of these songs, the most recent one is that last song I wrote in '93. So I'm sure
Okay.
there are many songs in here that... Anyway, this song's called You Make Me Feel Good. And this little story I'll give to it was, my girlfriend and I, we had an occasion together last summer. We were about 20 years into our relationship. And she's been through quite a bit, including cancer, and she's gotten through that, and she's doing really well with that. And anyway, we had a moment. I'm not going to get too detailed, but it was like one of those mornings where you just sit there in the presence of another person, and you're kind of in awe of that person. And if you're a creative type, you get to thinking, you know, this is an opportunity. Well, there may be other directions your mind would go in, but my mind goes, this is an opportunity to sit down and write a really good song. So I came up with a line or two or three, and I'm thinking, like, I already wrote that song years ago. So this is kind of, it's called You Make Me Feel Good. You make me feel good, the way you understand me, the way your love demands me to be one with you. We work out real good. We work through all our problems, talk them out, we solve them, and I'm one with you. You got such timing, you go beyond dimensions, handle all dissensions with an adult mind. Our breath is rhyming, one in rhythm, imagery and rhythm, a song we find.
will take you from this structural suction, conformity, corruption, chains unlinking. You make me feel good. The way you understand me, the way your love demands me to be one with you, one with you.
All right, thank you.
Yay!
Are we ready? We're fine?
Yes, we are.
A few more jokes. Oh, I know one thing you could mention is the thing at Good Golden Leaf tonight. Every Wednesday they have open mics on.
Oh yeah, I was just heard word that the Golden Leaf is going to be having an open mic there from, when is it?
Well, it usually starts around 10 o'clock.
Around 10 o'clock.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday they have an open mic at the Golden Leaf. So we're gonna leave that one right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, why don't you give the exact same directions that Terry gave last month to get to the Golden Leaf?
I don't even remember.
It was pretty convoluted, I don't.
Yeah.
Unless you've been there before, I would have been lost.
I've been to Golden Corral, but I haven't been to the Golden Leaf.
Let's follow Jennie, she'll be there.
Yeah. I won't be there because I have to work in the morning, but that's besides the point. Anyway, so I'm gonna kill some time and I have some jokes.
Okay, go.
So
Go.
anyway, did you hear about the cowboy that was sick because he had bronchitis?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He was in stable condition. Yeah, he was a little hoarse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He had the case of the hay fever. So, anyway, someone told me, hey Mark, it was curtains for me, so I went to a window store and I got me some curtains. So there's these two guys talking, and one says to the other, man, I tell you what, I was watching a woodworking show on TV the other day. They were making some cool stuff. And he says, oh really? He says, yeah, you wouldn't believe what I saw. So anyway, there's this cowboy that goes to a corral, and all these people are so happy and go lucky, and this guy is giving them the business, telling like how big and bad he is. So they didn't believe him, so he walks out, and he comes back and he says, all right, which one of you fellers out there put a yellow streak on my horse's back? A 6 foot, 7 foot guy stands up and says, well, I did. And he says, oh yeah? And he says, yeah, the coat is ready. So, anyway, welcome to our new audience members there. So,
Oh, is Holly still gonna play or hi? Oh no. Okay. No. Well, I thought maybe you were with her. Oh, were any of you wanting to participate, or are you just
I was gonna
audience
sign up,
members?
so I was gonna let him finish.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Great, because you can walk. There's a sign up sheet right here.
you guys can come up and sign up. Speaking of signing up, there's these two guys talking. One says to the other, boy, me and a partner of mine, we're going to be in the movies, but we had sinus trouble. And he said, sinus trouble, what did that have to do with the movie? Did you catch a cold? And he said, no, nobody with sinus. So, I love these jokes. They're so easy to tell. Anyway, do you know how come I can't trust stairs? Because they're always up to something. Yeah, it's really escalating right now. All right, I'm going to get to our next guests here, or guest, whichever one it is. All right. I'm glad that you reaced a poem. Anyway, so, did you hear about the clown that opened the door for me? It was a nice gesture. Did you hear about the circus that caught on fire because it was intense? Yeah. I had to clean up their act there. Anyway, I don't know what to say next because I don't see anybody else signed up on the list.
No,
So,
oh yeah, did you want to
I got
say
nothing.
something? Yeah, he doesn't want to do that. Okay.
I got nothing right now.
by the way, that's one of my good friends, Justin, that works with me at my store, and he's a cool guy.
Why could we not try and persuade Deonta to get up there a second time? After all, he only did
Yeah, that's true.
this time, and he didn't. I think he did at least 3 last.
Deonta, do you want to come up and do some more songs?
Great.
Can I ask for a request? The first one you played last time we were here.
Oh yeah. Oh, why don't
There
you
you
go take a turn?
Yeah,
too?
come on.
Yeah.
Maybe, we'll see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because we need some more color here. It's early yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you
Do you need a bass man? Because I could play bass.
he knows how to play the drums too. I know he does.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is a song I wrote. It's called Life Too Short, and I think I think it's out of tune, but I'm trying. It's okay if I tune it real quick. I don't know.
Gary has arrived, and Holly's not too far removed from being ready to.
Oh really? Oh, well, we might have some more people then. If I had something short, I could read.
Oh sure. Would you like to hear some musical jokes?
Okay.
So, yeah, I went to a drum shop and they told me to beat it. Did you hear about the guitar player and the violinist going on a date? He had no strings attached. Yeah. Do you know what happens when you throw a piano down a mine shaft? You get an A flat minor. Yeah. So, anyway, so there's these two pianos that walking home from a gig, and they get to their house, and one turns, and they start trying to open the door, and one says, "Doesn't that beat all?" And he says, "What do you mean by that?" He says, "We have 88 keys and none of them can open the door." So, there's this collie or poodle talking to a collie, and one says to the other, "Man, my life's in shambles." And it says, "What do you mean by that?" He says, "Well, my owner's mean, my girlfriend left me for the German Shepherd, and I'm nervous as a wreck. What do I do?" He says, "Well, why don't you talk to the psychiatrist?" He says, "I can't because I'm not allowed on the couch." Oh, we have more guests.
Good.
So I'm glad I guessed it. So, are we ready, man?
Yeah,
All right, give it up for Dante one more time.
want to sit down this time. I'm lazy. So, all right. Jeez. Just kidding. All right, here's this. Can I get some help real quick? I don't know how to set this up. Alright, it's called Life's Too Short. Spend it with life's too short. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with life's too short. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with life's too short. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with. Stab you in the back. Oh, it was about 200 years ago. Don't let what your ancestors did take your soul. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with, life's too short. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with, life's too short. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with, life's too short. Careful how you live it, life's too short. Careful you spend it with. Life's too short, careful how you live it, life's too short, careful you spend it with, life's too short, careful how you live it, life's too short, careful you spend it with, life's too short, careful how you live it, life's too short, careful how you spend it. That's the
Give it up for Deonta one more time, please. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Oh, and by the way, just for old time's sake, one more time, you could go to the Flint Creative Alliance page on Facebook, and you can go to the Go Find Me page, and you can support this collaboration night, and or if you want to donate here, which is I feel like doing the Price is Right thing, you can do that as well, and any amount will do. Speaking of that, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I did that in the drop of a dime. The only sense I have is a sense of humor. Anyway, we're going to go to our next guest here. So...
Holly. Is it Holly? Wait. Yeah, Holly.
Give it up for Holly, please.
So you're not spelling it Lee anymore,
I
huh?
realized that. No, I still am.
Okay.
I don't know why I wrote it the other way.
Okay.
So we got
I'll fix it for you.
we had one cancellation by one ukulele player,
Oh, really?
and so we got
You plug in.
the dean of the ukuleles, or I don't know if that's the proper
Wait.
appellation. Yeah.
Oh, she's one of our Flint famous too. You could get her picture on a bag if you want to donate to the GoFundMe campaign.
Oh, those are on bags?
I can make them on bag. Yeah, I can put that on there for you. If you just
Accordion
want
apple.
Yeah, this is the accordion.
If you just want to do that, let me know and I'll fix it up.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you can donate.
No,
And
that's
then
fine. Alright, I haven't had a tuner in many moons, so hopefully this sounds right. Is that good, Ken? Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
She feels like a stranger is coming the night, stolen her life, left her with this. She feels like a stranger has come in the night, has stolen her life, left her with us. And boats break on ebony toothache, as she is a flask trapped inside a fall. Well, I know you need to find what you thought you left behind in a past life. I won't question why the only light that you had you gave away. Well, I know you need to find what you thought you left behind in a past life. I won't question why the only light that you had you gave away. She is a cover by McMillan called Feathers. This next one is another cover, If It Hadn't Been for Love. And by the way, I have not practiced these songs in a while. Thank you for bearing with me. Never would have hitched out to Birmingham if it hadn't been for love. Never would have caught a train to Louisiana if it hadn't been for love. Never would have gone through the blinding rain without $1 to my name if it hadn't been for love. Never would have gone where you would win if it hadn't been for love. I could have been gone like the wayward wind if it hadn't been for love. Nobody knows it better than me. I wouldn't be wishing I was free if it hadn't been for love. Four cold walls against my will. At least I know she's lying still. Four cold walls with no, sorry guys, with no parole. Lord have mercy on my soul. Never would have gone to that side of town if it hadn't been for love. Never would have had a mind to track it down if it hadn't been for love. Never would have loaded up a 44, put myself behind a jail's door if it hadn't been for love. Four cold walls against my will. At least I know she's lying still. Four cold walls with no parole. At least have mercy on my soul. Never would have hitched out to Birmingham if it hadn't been for love. Never would have caught a train to Louisiana if it hadn't been for love. Never would have loaded up a 44, put myself behind a jail's door if it hadn't been for love. If it hadn't been for love. If it hadn't been for love.
All right.
Should I do another?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay.
Do another. Udamas.
Okay. This one is an original that I also might not remember the words to, so we'll see.
Maybe we'll remember.
Mama, please don't tell Daddy that I got shot in the heart again. I know that I've been foolish and I regret every kiss I've
Give it up for Holly one more time, please. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started with our next act, whatever that our act is going to be, I always like to read like the tabloids, not because of the stories, but I like the pictures of what the people look like when they're on the tabloids. Like I was watching one actor and he was modeling like this. There was one guy, he looked so sad, he was like this. And then there was another person, he was saying like this. Now you wouldn't see me on that tabloids because I'd be like this. Anyway, do we have our next guest?
Yeah, Jasmine McMillan.
Would you please welcome Miss Jasmine McMillan, please?
Or as Terry calls you, I don't know what he said.
So like, I'm just gonna
Only call her that
sing.
once.
Okay.
I've been currently writing, and I'm even nervous to like sing it in front of my friends. So I'm gonna wait for my body to stop shaking a little bit and like bear with me. I'm still brainstorming how to sing it, so like I don't even know what's gonna come out. It's just gonna happen.
Okay.
Who do I get to be today? Which version of myself will be led out and led astray? Don't know how much more I can take. I'm giving in, no I'm not. And I woke up troubled yesterday. Sometimes my mind reminds me, unrelenting, of all my past mistakes. How do I plan my great escape? With my thoughts trapped in a maze, I am ashamed to say I'm still afraid, oh yeah. Guess this is growing up in the millennium. The world's on fire. Guess this is growing up in the millennium. Take me higher. Oh, do you know what it's like not to trust anybody? Do you know what it's like not to trust yourself? Consumed by the fear taking residence here. All I need is to break the chains. Who do I get to be today? Starting all over once again.
All right. Give it up for her one more time, please. All right. Now to our next guest. Please welcome the one and only Silver Hawking.
Yeah. The hawk.
The hawk.
It's silver. So are you intentionally putting that over your head? So are you gonna use the computer to hold the piece of paper up?
Hello.
Hello?
So, in case you hadn't heard, my name is Silver Hawkins. I'd like to consider myself an artist. And what I like to do is write things down. And then I wait until people are paying attention, then I read it to them. Sometimes I do it to music, but I think today I'm going to do a cappella.
Cool.
For a more intimate setting, such as this. I'm just gonna do a couple. Okay. I'm going to read to you a story I wrote. It's about a young troll who had a tough upbringing, and he let those things carry on into his young adult life, and some interesting things happened along the way. Do you guys want to hear that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Troll story, troll story.
Okay. Excuse me, no video for this one.
Alt host, right? Is that what you said? If I need a host, I could always call you. Right?
Yeah,
Right,
most
Terry?
of the time I'm a primo de facto host.
And if you want me to host, I can host also.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see, because I think she's expecting to host next month, so I think she's going to host
We
next
got
month.
no shortage of hosts.
So, anyway, thanks for everybody coming up here.
Thanks for hosting.
And until next time, this is your funny man saying adios amigos, ciao, sayonara, tell your mother, I'm out of here.
Yay!
I noticed. And it is. That's the one that shipped for me, no matter what something.
Woo!